morning, everybody, and welcome to PWR Today for April 20th, 2020. My name is Andrew Baydala, and welcome to PWR Today. Today, I'm going to do the show a little bit differently. I'm going to be joined by the man they call Meathead. Meathead and myself will run through today's headlines and comment on all of them. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Today's headlines include Dustin Rhodes' possible retirement, Jindar Mahal waiting and ready to be cleared, WrestleMania 37 has a plan B already, Gallows and Anderson touch on their releases and future, the Revival repackage rumors that have been circulating on the internet by WWE, MJF possibly injured or storyline. This and much, much more coming up next on the PWR Today. We are joined by the man they call Meathead. We are going to run down the topics. Meathead, good morning on this Monday morning. How are you?
Yeah, again, it's warming up. I don't see snow. That's something that's a big deal up here in Wisconsin. So I'm a happy man. Let's roll.
Yeah. Meathead, where can everybody follow you? I can never remember your Twitter handle.
That's at WCW Meathead. I know WCW is now, 20 years removed, 19 years removed, but I still hold on.
Hey, it was a good time in professional wrestling. Some of the best. But let's get into it. Dustin Rhodes' possible retirement. Dustin recently called his younger brother Cody about the TNT Championship tournament and said it means everything for him to be the first champion. He then said if he cannot beat Kip Sabian in their tournament matchup, he will retire. Dustin then told his younger brother Cody, who is an EVP, that means Executive Vice President, at All Elite Wrestling, to give him a call back and think about it. Meathead, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm happy to see Dustin still going. So, when we I'd say about 5 years, 10 years ago, when we were watching Dustin going, this might be the end of the road for him. And then out of nowhere, he had a tag team with his brother in WWE, and they became tag team champions when you had Stardust and Goldust. I really do enjoy Dustin's work. We got kind of a revival. Again, no foreshadowing intended, but we got a revival of Dustin Rhodes. But honestly, this feels like it might be the end. Now, we could go the other way and we could have Dustin actually winning the TNT belt, being that Cinderella underdog story out of nowhere. But I feel like we're getting close to that road. We've seen him a bunch of times in Great Lakes Championship Wrestling, and he looks phenomenal. He got in great shape. He's out there working. I mean, he's got an amazing mind for the business. So if he goes, I'll be sad. I'll miss him. But he's had a great run. I mean, we're at 20 plus years. So, I mean, we've gotten what we've gotten from Dustin Rhodes, and we've all loved it.
Yeah, I don't think Dustin owes anything to anybody. I think he's had a prolonged career. I think we probably got an extra 5 to 6 years out of him thanks to DDP yoga and maybe him becoming clean. He's had a fantastic career. A fantastic career is an understatement as well. Dustin has transcended the business in so many ways and put on one of the best matches I've seen for a man his age. I believe it was at All Out, or was it Double or Nothing, when him and his brother had a bloodbath. But it was fantastic.
Fantastic.
I don't see this being Dustin's last match because he said if he can't beat Kip. So is this going to be something where he beats Kip and then loses in the finals, and then maybe he hangs him up on his own? I don't know. But I do think that we are possibly seeing the end, the end of his road here. And I think it's validated, and I think it's well earned. I think Dustin Rhodes owes nothing. And I think if he wants to go back to be a producer and mold young talent backstage at All Elite Wrestling, I think it's welcomed. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy his work. I really do.
Me too. Jindar Mahal, a name we haven't heard. Jindar Mahal was sidelined back in June of 2019. He suffered an injury at a live event against Mustafa Ali. He told a reporter that he was fully recovered and that he's cleared and waiting for the WWE to bring him back into the fold. With the state of wrestling amidst a global pandemic, it's unclear if he would make the trek to Orlando for WWE's tapings, but it seems nothing would hinder him from fulfilling his duties as he needs to. Your thoughts on Jindar Mahal and him returning? Big deal or not for you?
Well, it sounds like they're trying to hinder Jindar right now, and I'm not a big fan of that. And, as far as his traveling, thank you. I'll be here all week. As far as his traveling, it's not that far from Canada, because isn't Jindar a Canadian, eh?
I believe he is. I don't know if he still lives there, but I do know he is from Canada, yes.
Right. So, while he says he's waiting for the WWE, I believe that, after, say, Drew goes through Seth Rollins, I think that's a surprise that we can bring back Jindar. Stop trying to hinder Jindar one more time.
Yeah, don't forget Jindar was a WWE champion, and numbers were good when he was a WWE champion. Now, I know there was a lot of, that's because they were trying to get their deal done in India. Okay, that might be the case. But I actually enjoyed Jindar Mahal. You're in the same kind of age bracket as I am, and we enjoyed, at least I did, I'll let you speak for yourself, but I enjoyed when there was a actual,
nasty heel that I didn't want to even think about liking. And that's what I think Jinder did as the WWE champion.
See, Jinder's rise to champion was a shock rise, right? So he had lost nasty on that Monday night in that tournament. On the Tuesday, somehow he became a top contender because he moved brands, if you remember. And then out of nowhere, bam, champion. All right, cool. We did a shock championship. And then he earned the championship and became a legitimate champion. And I didn't hate to see him, but I realized that, you know what? Jindar Mahal took a rocket ship to main event status. Now, he floundered the last year or so, but I mean, Jindar Mahal is a legit top contender if they choose him to be.
Yeah, Jindar Mahal took his diet seriously. He clearly took everything wrestling seriously, and I thought he looked like $1 million as a champion, and he played that heel role very, very well. I enjoyed his run. I guess time will tell. I think Jinder's a welcome addition to this roster who, wherever roster he goes to, they all need new contenders for the main championship. And I think Jinder is someone who I look forward to taking on either Braun, Bray, or Drew or Seth. WrestleMania 37, Meathead, I know we're kind of just getting over WrestleMania 36, but they already have a plan B. According to numerous sources, the WWE has already begun the planning stages for a possible relocation of WrestleMania if Hollywood, California cannot host the event scheduled to take place at SoFi Stadium. This to me is not shocking. The California, the state of California came out and said that they don't think they're going to have any events until 2021 at the earliest. They're putting a ban on it. So this doesn't surprise me. I think what people are forgetting is that SoFi Stadium is not completed yet. So
Right.
Nobody's working on it. I think the WWE would hate to have this relocated, but I'm going to get to your thoughts, and then maybe we could touch on where they can go if it needs to be relocated. But what are your thoughts on a plan B for 37 already?
I'll do both of them in the same sentence. Yeah, the stadium's not done, and if the stadium's not ready, they can't do it. And I have a perfect stadium ready for them. It's called Raymond James. It's in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, not bad. I do think the rumors are circulating that's where 38 is going to be, but they could always push that up. You are 100% right.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. A, it's a makeup to Tampa. And then B, they're already, given the shining blessing from the governor of Florida. So why wouldn't they go ahead and put that event on? Now, granted, you might not be able to have the 75,000 in there. They might have, I don't like saying these phrases that just get beaten into our, subconscious, but the social distancing, you might have to spread people out. But so what? Let's do it at Raymond James, do a makeup.
I'm right there with you, Meathead. I would love to go to a stadium and watch WrestleMania again, and I would love to be in Tampa, Florida. I just don't see this happening. I think if 37 is going to happen, they're going to go with it, obviously, at SoFi Stadium and hope that, the world is in a different place. But if they do move it, I think it's going to have to be in an arena and maybe do the 2 nights again. Maybe Madison Square Garden, maybe Chicago, maybe Texas, just because I can't see them removing it from SoFi unless the building's not done, which is a real possibility, folks. But I just think that maybe they feel fans would be more comfortable in a 20,000 seat building for one night than being next to 80, 90,000 people. Not that Tampa can hold that, but that everybody kind of descends on an area for WrestleMania weekend. I mean, the people listening probably who have gone know it's a lot of people. So I don't know. Would you like to see WrestleMania in an arena again for 2 nights?
So here's the thing, and I kind of wanted to lean into that too. You say, let's, maybe go to MSG or Chicago. I would love for it to be Chicago, with the exception of they don't have a deal with the United Center. They always go to the Rosemont or whatever it's called now. Nothing against the fine folks of the city of Rosemont, Illinois, but that building is an armpit. And I am not a fan of that building whatsoever.
No, I agree with you. I always like the Rosemont Horizon. I think it's the Allstate Arena now, just because of the history there. But I mean, I get what you're saying. The United Center is the Madison Square Garden of the Midwest. So I totally understand it, why people would want it there, and I get it. Speaking of people or relocations or releases, Gallows and Anderson, recently released by the WWE, touched on their releases and their future. On the latest episode of Talking Shop, which is a podcast done by these two gentlemen, the recently released Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson combed over with Rocky Romero the list of WWE releases, including themselves. Gallows addressed the subject of their futures in wrestling after what he had been stated a wild and sad week for the pro wrestling community. It was a crushing day, Gallows said, in the professional wrestling world, but the professional wrestling world always goes on. Luke Gallows addressed their future by saying, you got to wait on that. We ain't ready yet, but when we're ready to unload, we will tell you. So thanks for the support and all the good brothers and sisters. Cheers. Meathead, what are your thoughts on these two and where they end up? I have my own thoughts and theories, but where do you see them?
They're a big name in Japan. The IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, will say, that they should come into the AEW and they could run roughshod in there and actually be, another place that the club or the elite, with the Young Bucks there, they could get in there and be good brothers again. I honestly think that they can make more money independent if they tried for the next 6 months or so. It's a lot of work. I mean, talk to like a Kenny Omega who was traveling the world. These guys didn't want to travel the world, and have to do their own bookings. It was easy to do it in WWE. Just tell me what, city I got to be at. Where's my plane? Where's my car? Where's my hotel? And then, just move on. But they're going to have to do their own bookings for a while. But I think there's really money out there to earn. There's a professional living, a professional living to make out there for a team like Gallows and Anderson if they choose to stay a team. Now, I think they will, but I mean, there might be money if they go separate too. That's on them to do.
Yeah, I think the money is in a tag team with them. I think they're one of the best. I think that they do end up resurfacing either in New Japan for maybe a month or two, or they could continue to take bookings there and sign with All Elite Wrestling. I love that you call them the AEW. You still have that WCW mind, and I just absolutely love it. But yeah, I think that you're right. I think you're spot on. AEW is a location that they would shine in. I think the Revival are probably going to go there as well, and we'll jump right into them as well. Gallows and Anderson, I wish them nothing but the best. They are super talented, and they will be a welcomed addition no matter where they go. The Revival, repackaged rumors by WWE. No, and let me clarify this. They have not re-signed with the WWE. These are pictures going around the internet on how Vince McMahon, and they're rumored for right now, how Vince McMahon wanted to repackage them. According to a new report from Cassidy Haynes of Bodyslam.net, Vince McMahon wanted to repackage the duo as a comedy team and even had some mock-ups made of what their gear would have looked like. You'll have to go find these pictures on the internet because we're not doing videos. But Cash Wheeler, formerly known as Dash Wilder, answered a question from a Twitter follower on if these photos were legit. And he said, I plead the fifth. I'll describe the photos for you. They look very generic: blue, green, white, red, yellow. And one of them that looks like they're holding a Flavor Flav clock. And the other one, I really can't even describe it. They have tassels. It looks absolutely horrendous. I don't think that if this is real, I think it was a test by, Vince McMahon. I can't see this being something that you would want to do to this team unless they absolutely knew they were not coming back. And this is his last chance to say, hey, screw you. Meathead?
Vince has given us swerves before. Remember the monster Brodus Clay that we were supposed to get? And then he comes out and says, somebody call my mama, which obviously for me was a huge mark out moment because you know whose song that originally was.
Let me see if I can get this one. I think that's Ernest the Cat Miller.
Yes, who was former WCW commissioner. Somebody call my mama and tell her I'm the greatest. With very little wrestling background. He was brought into the company as he was Eric Bischoff's Taekwondo instructor or something like that. But I digress. You know what? Dash and Wilder, they had an old school feel. The Revival, they had an old school feel. I mean, he looked like Arn Anderson. I mean, these were just bruisers. You think about Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson in WWF. That's what they were modeled off to be. They were not given the opportunity to be the bruiser team that they should have been out there, just wrestling. The comedy stuff, I don't want to see it, but if it makes them money, I'm never against it. But I don't think it'll come to fruition.
Yeah, I think the haha stuff has a place and time, and it was probably in the 80s and 90s, and I think that was, there's time for it with like Otis and Mandy and stuff like that, but this isn't it, Chief, as the kids say. But yeah, the Revival and Gallows and Anderson, let's just take a step back and breathe. If they sign to the same company, that is going to boost a tag team division like you've never seen before. I mean, those are four of the best tag team workers in the business. And if All Elite Wrestling can grab that, man, oh man, with Pentagon and Ray Phoenix and, the Young Bucks, I mean, good Lord, that AEW tag division is going to be the best in the world. No pun intended. Let's go to MJF. MJF is a Long Island native like myself, but he is a known troll, whether it be on Twitter or whether it be in person, as we've all seen. MJF possibly injured, or is this a storyline? MJF took to Twitter this past week and stated, I wish I could put my body on the line more for you guys. I truly care so much about you. being entertained during your hour of need. Unfortunately, something awful has happened to me, and it has gradually gotten worse. I can't comment on the issue at this time. MJF then took to Twitter a couple days ago and said, my issue has gotten worse. It's looking like I might need surgery. I'm genuinely trying my very best to come back for you guys. I will let Meathead take this one first because this one stinks to me, but go ahead, Meathead.
It sounds legitimate, but, again, being that it's the wrestling world, I take it with a grain of salt. Maybe he does have to get something worked on. Maybe it is legitimate. We are in 2020, so, guys are putting their stuff out there normally, but it's the wrestling world. As Dave Hero will always tell you, it's got a little bit kabukiism to it, if you will. So, you know what? Grain of salt. If he shows up, great. If he doesn't, not. He's a heel that's getting over in AEW. However, it's the kind of heel that I don't particularly like watching on TV.
Yeah, you know what, Meathead, I'm going to agree with you here on this one. There might be a little bit of truth to it, but I think we haven't seen MJF on TV for a while. So maybe he's dealing with a little injury that he will fix and time will heal it and he'll be fine. This stinks to me because MJF now all of a sudden wants us to believe that he cares about us. His gimmick tells you everything that he doesn't. I didn't like the kids thing. I've been very outspoken about that. You don't do that with children. His gimmick is tough at times to watch, but there is a lot of realism to that. Being from Long Island, I know exactly those type of people. And trust me, MJF is those type of people. But I don't know. This one reeks. I think that this is a storyline. I think MJF's going to show up, whether it be this week, next week, or 2 weeks down the road and screw somebody. Maybe he's the person who forces Dustin Rhodes into retirement because he costed him the match against Kip Sabian. Just a thought, but I agree with you, Meathead. Do you think there's any realism to this? I mean, or do you think this is, like you said, a little bit of both here?
I think it's a mixed bag, honestly. I think there might be a taste in there. It's kind of like talking to Meathead on occasion. He always tells you a little bit of truth, even when he's trying to be funny.
Well, Meathead, I do thank you for taking time out of your day. It's Monday morning. We are having Monday Night Raw tonight. Anything you're looking forward to on Raw?
Looking forward to something different than what we've been getting lately, as in the empty arena stuff is starting to wear on me.
I totally hear you. I'm looking forward to seeing Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, where they go from that. So you enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thank you for waking up with us, and I will talk to you later on today. I think we're going to do PWR today.
Yeah,
correct?
We got primetime. I believe it's 7 Eastern, 6 Central.
There you go. Catch us on Fight. Meathead, I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, thank you, sir.
Well, a big thanks to the man they call Meathead for taking time out of his morning to join us here on Monday morning. You could follow me at TicketDrew on Twitter. My name is Andrew Baydala. You could follow the rest of us at Facebook and Instagram at PWR360 now, Twitter at PWR360, and the website for all your professional wrestling needs and podcasts is www.pwr360.com. We are on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean. Please like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review so we can continue to bring this content to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I've enjoyed today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow morning with PWR Today.